How can I trust people again? That's a great question. Now, I come from a background where I've had, trust-related issues pretty much as long as I can remember, as you may know, Jackie, because I've seen the worst side of humanity in terms of some of the most violent, negative, toxic, racist people you can possibly imagine. So I used to struggle with trust all the time. However, I came across a mentor about 12 years ago who really helped me to realize what I got to do to really not just survive, but thrive in my life. You see, what we got to do to trust people again is firstly, you want to work on what is your core limiting belief behind your lack of trust in others. And you want to treat that belief as a working hypothesis. So if that belief is everybody is toxic, okay? You want to treat that as a working hypothesis whereby you work on that theory, and instead of you trying to prove that theory correct, you want to actually do the opposite, as in you want to ensure you find evidence that provides and proves that it's incorrect. Since majority of the time, we're always trying to prove our beliefs correct instead of actually incorrect. How many agree? That way you become very objective and you begin to realize how everyone isn't toxic, just some people are. In fact, it's a very small percentage. At the same time, once you've done that, what you want to do is this. You got to begin to realize how you not trusting people is actually holding you back from everything you want in your life. Because how many of you have ever met somebody before who you come across and they don't even say something to you, but you just feel like they're a bit guarded? You ever come across somebody who's a little bit like guarded? You can tell that they've got the shield up. They're protecting their heart. Let me ask you, with those sort of people, have you created genuine connections with them? Not on the first interaction, that's for sure. How many of you agree? In fact, sometimes you never get to connect with them. So let's say this is in a career setting, when you've got that important meeting, where you've got the 60 minutes to build rapport and hopefully close a deal, forget about it. If you are a speaker where you've got like a 60-minute keynote, forget about it. You're not going to succeed. If you want to get into a relationship, forget about it. I mean, know what I'm saying? So when we are not trusting others, we are non-verbally, unconsciously always transmitting that energy to others. Because what is communication? Communication is nothing but transference of energy. Hence why I don't need to say something to you. Somebody next to you doesn't need to say anything to you, but you can feel their energy. Yes or no, by the way? So your current beliefs is transmitting an energy to others. At the same time, remember your beliefs create your identity, and your identity determines your behavior of how you interact with the environment. And how you're currently interacting with the environment becomes a feedback loop. Because you're guarded and shielded, you are not opening yourself up to other people. Therefore, people don't open up back to you. And therefore, that further aggravates and strengthens your belief, I can't trust others. How many know what I'm saying? So even if you consciously want to get into great relationships because you've got the unconscious belief, I don't trust others, you have created a reality in which it is a feedback loop to your current belief system. To put simply, you are preventing yourself from change. Not to mention, when you close your heart, it can only ever attract other close-hearted people in your life. These are all of the little breakthroughs I had in my life, realizing I am holding myself back from everything I want. So if I don't trust somebody, this isn't going to really harm them. It's going to harm me more. Is this making sense? And where I really had to work on this the most was especially when I was trying to become a speaker. Because imagine as a speaker, we travel to different countries, speak on a stage in front of, thousands of people. I don't know everyone. That's for sure. They're strangers to me. And I used to look at everybody as a stranger. And as a result of that, the audience never used to connect with me. It wasn't until one of my teachers pointed out and said, Tim, what labels have you stuck to everybody? Like, as in what belief have you stuck to everybody? I said, well, coming to think of it, I've stuck on the label called you're a stranger. He said, exactly, Tim. This is why your audience is falling asleep. They're not connecting with you. This time round, Tim, I want to attach this label, friend. You want to attach a label to everyone, a friend, and see how it ends up changing everything. I went back on the stage and I literally spoke as if I'm speaking to my best friends. I began to share my vulnerable stories, and you bet all of a sudden, the audience is leaning in and wanting to hear more. Is this making sense? So I began to realize me not trusting you, that is doing me more harm, not you. Is this making sense?